but when you're in an audition, and I only imagine you've been in thousands at this point, right? It's every company, everyone who's in arts administration just loves audition days, right?
I
I
do.
yeah,
I do. I like mentally am not ready for it the whole day. And then like if I can just every panel wants to forget that they're at work and just get an amazing free concert that day,
mhm.
right? Like we want everybody who walks in to blow our minds. So first of all, everybody's rooting for you, right?
The first time I heard that, it blew me away. I was like, the
Yeah.
panel's on my side?
What?
What? They're not, they're
What?
called judges. They're not sitting there with a
Right.
gavel sending me to heaven or hell. Like, what's going on? But what are some of the things that you just love seeing in an audition, apart from singing beautifully and musically and hitting all of the notes
Yeah.
correctly?
Um, that you are comfortable in your own skin. I can tell immediately if you are walking into a room putting on, because I used to do it, putting on a character, trying not to go back on this. We all have like, all right, the hype man, right? That I'm gonna walk in this room, I'm gonna kick butt, I'm gonna be amazing. So that's one thing. That's less of a character besides like what you need to do to get through it. But if you walk into a room wearing a character that is not authentic to you, that if you walk in, hello, my name is, but you're like dressed as, I don't know. I want to see authenticity. I think that's the best way to break it down. I want to see a real person. I don't want to see someone who is showing me what I think I want in a human being, right? Because you can do that during your aria. But when you walk in the room, you're you. You're you're still you. You're always you. So I don't want to have you leave feeling like I never got to see the performer and that I saw this character of perfect opera singer the whole time you were in the room.
Mm.
Um, hopefully that makes sense. Um, I also love when there's almost nothing more disappointing, let's put it that way, than when we pre-screen auditions just because we can't afford to hear everybody live. So we sit and we listen to all of your submissions beforehand and pick out the folks who maybe we haven't heard live before. If you don't get a live audition from videos, we cast plenty of people without hearing them live, especially if they've worked with us before. Um, but if we haven't heard them before, they come into the room and they just give us an exact repeat performance of what they submitted. That's that's scary.
Hmm.
There was a singer who this last summer had submitted three pieces. I'd never heard them before. Incredible voice, moving performances. And then they got in the room and only offered three pieces, and they were every piece that was on their recordings. So I didn't have an opportunity to hear them do anything different. Um, and I everything in that one submission was this kind of the same presentation, right? And so I started thinking, is this a one trick pony? Is this, like I only do this composer, this style, and these are my five signature moves that I put into every choreographed audition aria, right? I want to see an artist who's actively thinking about the story they're telling, um, and and that they can change things up. Sometimes I will have singers um, sing a section of their aria again and just ask them to do it like just use the words in the music. Don't worry about whatever this character is going through. Now I'd like you to do it as this character or in this situation just to see if they can think on their feet and kind of divorce them from this perfectly polished presentation. Um, and get them out of their own head a little bit. So yeah, I think I want spontaneity, authenticity, and to show me that you're actually communicating with the audience. And I get to be the audience when I'm on the panel, and not just regurgitating a perfectly polished performance. That was a lot of alliteration. Sorry.
Well, no, I love it. I'm a huge fan of language. I think you have to love language if you're going to be a singer, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
awesome. Well, so we have this model that we talk about all the time of the athlete house, and of course, we're all about building athletes, and singers are athletes. The only question is how athletic are you, right?
Hmm.
So the way that model goes, I'll oversimplify it just for time, of course, but there's three levels. There's the foundation level, which is the subconscious skills, the mind body connection, the authenticity, like you mentioned. Above that is the walls, so your physical body, your ability to produce certain sounds and be, a human in real life.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then there's the roof, which is your musicality, your languages, your things like that. And it sounds like the things that you really love seeing are foundational skills that just have to exist no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. Because as a if I'm the director, right? I'm not always the director
But you are a
of the
lot, to be
productions.
fair.
I am a lot. Sometimes it's a financial choice, but
Yeah, no worries.
no, I do love it. A director can pull things out of some people, right? So I have to see that you are thoughtful and open to suggestion. Um, if you give a director an inanimate object and say, "No, make this bottle act like a fish," it's a bottle. I can't. I don't know. This is an awful. I talk in analogies all the time. Um, you know, I want people who can work together and create art together. And so if you have those foundational elements and you are secure in them as an artist, as a person, then you can dress up what goes on top and you can maintain the core skills and try something new, even if it doesn't work. But if your technique disappears, you can't breathe anymore once you start thinking of something else, then you're not quite there as an artist. Doesn't mean you won't be there. It just means, you know what, this is a great cover opportunity for you, and maybe not, or as it, covers these days are it's not like second place. Because
Sure.
it's post-COVID times and we need to have real performers up there. But for
I
younger
agree.
performers, this is the opportunity to learn
Yeah.
and learn from the person who is in the spot and see what they can do differently and how they think on their feet, um, and what skills are just they don't have to think about anymore. It's like you said, it's the foundation. It's what grounds them as an artist, and it just is part of their skill set. It's
And it,
not something that they have to actively turn on every time.
it's much we talk about this all the time. It's much easier to repaint a wall or reshingle a roof than it is to repour a foundation, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Man,
Absolutely. I love
I
that.
love that. I love that.